Hello, good evening. Me and the dog here, wife over there somewhere. So it's interesting, full circle. That was a good story. It was a good story. Was it an amazing story? What did you think? You're not sure. But it was an amazing story. But it certainly felt like we've reached the start of something. Does that sound right? Yeah, I think so. Like all the visual stuff in Leisure Hive seems to have dropped into space. And we've got past the sort of Cod Williams-y nonsense in Meglos, which I quite enjoyed, but anyway. But I tell you, and you know, the ending to that was quite good. And for once, the science, I'm not entirely sure it stacks up, but it was good enough. Do you know what I mean? There was some, it felt a bit crammed at the end, I'll level with you. You know, there's a lot going on at the end there. But what we got there is a Doctor Who story where the science was supposedly the driver behind things happening, as opposed to some mystical nonsense and whatever else like that. And, you know, an interesting concept. And I have to say, I thought Tom's performance was good, you know, in a way that I've not seen Tom do for a while. Romana was great. Lalla Ward had to be a zombie for a bit. That's fine. And, you know, whatever. Here's what I'm taking from Full Circle, though. That felt like the youngest Doctor Who story, episode we've had in ages. And I'm racking my brains. I'm trying to think back and think, when did we have such a large amount of young people in a Doctor Who story? And I'm concerned here, I'm foreknowledge. But it felt young, do you know what I'm saying? So I was thinking back, Sharda had scientist dude and scientist lady. Yeah, but they're like in their, 30s? So that doesn't count. These are kids in this, Adric and his brother and chums. And then all the other people on the Starliner, aside from the Deciders, they all felt very young. There was a lot of youth in this. And all of a sudden, in amongst that youth, I actually thought that was something that gave Tom something different to play with. You know what I mean? I tell you what it was. I tell you what it bloody was. It was that Horns and Imon, wasn't it? With the sacrifices. That was the last young episode. But in comparison to that, I mean, what did they do? They wander around being stupid and getting locked in, you know, plastic and stuff. Whereas in this, they were bombing about, trying to do things. I'm not entirely sure they were always effective in what they were doing, but they were actually active. Unlike the Deciders, who just stand around nattering all the time and not making a decision, you know, until the very end. And even then, the decision they make's off screen. One interesting thing. You know, I don't think that's intentional. But if we're talking about this brave new start for Doctor Who, and I keep saying every single episode that comes on, this title sequence for me with Tom in it, it's just weird. Obviously, I've seen certain stories in this season time and time again, and so I'm used to it to a certain extent. But this isn't Tom's title sequence. So, yeah, really interesting. I mean, interesting in a way that Doctor Who... I mean, there have been moments of absolute superb brilliance recently, but interesting in a way that felt fresh and new in a way that Doctor Who hasn't been for quite some time. And again, I'm not, you know, there's no point me racking my brain. When was the last time we had something that felt so sciencey? That was good. Quick aside, Doctor Who magazine came out today with the results of the first and second Doctor poll. I'm obviously delighted that War Games got top of the second Doctor poll, because it should be the top of the second Doctor poll. I think Tomb of the Cybermen's a bit high. Power of the Daleks rightfully in the top, but Evil of the Daleks, wherever that ended up, 6 or 7, whatever. Space Pirates last, fair enough. I'm absolutely flabbergasted that Dalek Invasion... I get why Dalek Invasion of Earth gets number 1 for Bill, but I think reputation precedes actually people watching it. However, I know I'm in a minority there. John will kill me for saying that. He loves Dalek Invasion of Earth. However, bloody Aztecs getting in the top 3. That is... No, sorry, not the Aztecs. Time Warrior getting in the top 3 and the Aztecs at number 4. That is flipping awesome. And even more satisfyingly, and I know this is a negative thing, the Daleks dropping down to whatever it was, 6, because that story is just so overrated it hurts. But anyway, all that aside, War Games, top of the tree with Pat. And the Time Meddler doing so well. What a lovely thing. And, you know, that speaks volumes, because I do think that the Time Meddler is a very forward-looking Doctor Who story. And honestly, I'd take more stories like the Aztecs now. I know they won't do them because it doesn't fit with modern Who, but whatever. I think that'd be a great template for future going. Anyway, that's an aside. On to the next story. All is good. Yeah, farewell. Boom. Bye. Say goodbye, Dusty. You're a dog.
Bye, Dusty.
You're a dog. Yay!